In the vast expanse of Russia, there exists a figure akin to a deity, not only well known within his own country but also widely discussed in every corner of the world. He is a politician, a leader, and the focal point of countless controversies. Today, we delve into the life of this significant figure in modern history, Vladimir Putin. From a humble family in Leningrad to becoming a formidable agent of the Russian Federal Security Service, and then rising to the pinnacle of Russian politics, his life story is like a dramatic epic. His leadership style, policy decisions, and the firm stance in international relations have won him fervent support from his followers, while also incurring vehement opposition from critics. Regardless of one's viewpoint, there is no denying the profound impact Putin has had on Russia and the global political landscape. In the following video, we will traverse time and space to retrace every significant step of Putin's life, from his youth to old age, exploring how he shaped his destiny and the indelible mark he has left on this era. Welcome to our channel, as we uncover the enigmatic life of Vladimir Putin. In the Soviet era of Leningrad, an ordinary child was born. In 1952, Vladimir Putin entered the world. His family was simple and unpretentious, with his father working in a factory and his mother a homemaker. Amidst this era of change, Putin's childhood was not easy. Growing up in a time fraught with tension and political turmoil, young Putin learned resilience and self-reliance. At school, he showed a passion for sports, especially judo, which not only shaped his physique but also tempered his will. Putin's youth was not without its challenges. He faced the common struggles of many Soviet families at the time, such as economic hardship and a tough living environment. Yet, it was these experiences that forged his unyielding character. As he grew, Putin gradually formed his worldview. His family and surroundings deeply influenced his values and beliefs, and his loyalty to his country and pursuit of justice began to take root during this period. Over time, Putin not only achieved success in sports but also demonstrated his academic potential. After graduating from high school, he chose a path different from his ancestors, pursuing higher education and eventually entering a field that would dramatically alter his fate, intelligence work. Putin's youth was a time when his character, beliefs, and determination began to take shape, laying a solid foundation for his future journey in life. Putin once reflected on his youth, saying, "At that time, I was filled with curiosity about the unknown world and a desire for success. I learned to be unyielding in the face of difficulties, and these experiences shaped the person I am today." As Vladimir Putin entered young adulthood, his world began to rapidly expand. At this stage of his life, he stood at a crossroads, facing crucial decisions about his future direction. During his university years, Putin not only continued to deepen his judo skills but also developed a keen interest in law and international relations, laying the groundwork for his later career. After graduation, he joined the Soviet Union's National Security Agency, the KGB, embarking on a 16-year career in intelligence. At the KGB, Putin underwent rigorous intelligence and security training, where his analytical skills, decisiveness, and loyalty were honed and tested. He was dispatched to the German Democratic Republic, or East Germany, to engage in intelligence work. There, he accumulated valuable international experience and witnessed the tense standoffs of the Cold War era. Upon returning to the Soviet Union, Putin's position within the KGB gradually rose, and his professional skills and loyalty to the country were recognized. However, with the dissolution of the Soviet Union, Putin and his colleagues faced unprecedented uncertainty. For a patriot like Putin, the breakup of the Soviet Union into different nations was a torment. In this politically turbulent period, Putin did not abandon his professional ideals. He chose to continue contributing to the security and stability of the new Russian Federation. His young adulthood was a period filled with challenges, learning, and growth, laying a solid foundation for his subsequent political career. In this period, Putin also established his family. He married Lyudmila Putina in 1983 and had 2 daughters. Family relationships occupied an important place in his personal life. Putin's young adulthood marked the critical transition from an intelligence officer to a political leader. During this stage, he not only accumulated valuable experience and knowledge but also formed his political philosophy and worldview. As time passed, Vladimir Putin entered middle age, a period that became the most pivotal turning point in his political career. In the chaotic period following the collapse of the Soviet Union, Putin's career underwent a dramatic transformation. He shifted from intelligence work to the domestic political stage. In the early 1990s, after returning to Russia, Putin served as an assistant to Mayor Anatoly Sobchak. In 1996, he was appointed as the head of the Russian Federal Security Service. Within just a few years, Putin's political status soared. His loyalty and capabilities caught the attention of then-President Boris Yeltsin. In 1999, Yeltsin appointed Putin as acting prime minister and subsequently endorsed him as a presidential candidate. In December 1999, Putin was named the acting president of Russia and was officially elected as the president of Russia in March 2000. Of course, at that time, Russia's economy and politics were on the brink of collapse, and it's possible that he was seen as someone to take the fall. After taking office, Putin's primary task was to strengthen the authority and control of the central government. In late 1990s Russia, local governments and oligarchic forces were quite independent, often making it difficult for the central government's orders to be effectively executed. The oligarchic forces represent a unique economic and political phenomenon in Russian history. This group mainly consists of businessmen and entrepreneurs who rapidly amassed vast fortunes through various means during the Soviet Union's dissolution and the early stages of Russia's economic transition in the 1990s. By controlling key economic resources and enterprises, such as oil, natural gas, and metals, they essentially monopolized entire markets. A classic example is the oligarchs' ability to openly influence national policy during Yeltsin's era. After coming to power, Putin implemented a series of measures to weaken the oligarchic forces. Initially, Putin made it clear that as long as the oligarchs did not interfere in politics and paid their taxes legally, they could retain their economic interests. However, not all oligarchs adhered to this policy, with some still attempting to use their political influence to protect their economic interests. The Putin administration subsequently took a series of actions, including legal measures and political pressure, against oligarchs who tried to influence politics. For instance, media mogul Vladimir Guzinsky was arrested for illegally embezzling funds, and oil magnate Mikhail Khodorkovsky was imprisoned for tax issues. These actions effectively deterred other oligarchs, forcing them to abandon their political ambitions or choose exile overseas. On the international stage, Putin has shown Russia's tough stance, especially on issues involving national security and geopolitics. His foreign policy often creates friction with Western countries, but he also strives to seek cooperation on some global issues. Putin's middle age saw his policies and decisions profoundly change Russia's future. For example, the oligarchic forces mentioned earlier, if left unchecked, could have firmly controlled the entire country under capitalism, with the most straightforward example being market control and lack of freedom of speech. Under Putin's leadership, Russia underwent significant transformation. His middle age was the golden age of his political career and the peak of his personal influence. As Vladimir Putin entered old age, he not only consolidated his political position in Russia but also continued to exert influence on the global stage. Putin's old age witnessed his profound insights into national governance and his unwavering stance. He continued to promote the strengthening of Russia's national sovereignty and territorial integrity while defending Russia's interests in international affairs. Under his leadership, Russia experienced a series of important social and economic reforms. Putin emphasized the importance of modernization and innovation, while also focusing on improving the living standards and social welfare of the people. Putin's old age was not without challenges. He faced criticism and pressure from both domestic and international fronts, especially regarding democracy, human rights, and international intervention. However, he maintained a tough leadership style and adhered to his political course. For instance, the current Russia-Ukraine war shows Putin's very firm initiation of this war. Was he right or wrong in this matter? The fuse for the Russia-Ukraine war is multifaceted, involving history, geopolitics, security, and international relations. Let's take a simple example: NATO's eastward expansion. Russia has long expressed concerns about NATO's eastward expansion, especially regarding the issue of Ukraine potentially joining NATO. Russia views the proximity of NATO's military infrastructure to its borders as a threat to its national security. It's like someone pointing a gun at another person's face, which is very terrifying. Therefore, one of Russia's demands in the early stages of the war was that Ukraine should not join NATO. As Putin's political career enters its twilight years, people begin to focus on the future of Russia. His policies and decisions will undoubtedly continue to affect the direction of Russia and the world. However, from the time he became president in 2000 until now, it has been 20 years, and according to the Russian constitution, he should have stepped down long ago. But with the 2020 constitutional amendments, Putin's term was reset to 0, which means that if Putin can keep winning in elections, his presidential position could be maintained until 2036. Putin's old age is the mature stage of his political journey. In this phase, he not only consolidated his power but also made significant contributions to defining Russia's role in the 21st century. As the wheels of history continue to turn, the name Vladimir Putin will be remembered. His old age is an important chapter of his political career and an indelible part of Russian history. As we approach the end of this historical retrospect, the image of Vladimir Putin gradually becomes clear. From the challenges and growth of his youth, to the career transition of his young adulthood, to the peak of power in his middle age, and now to his old age, Putin's life has been full of change, decision-making, and influence. No matter how we evaluate Putin's political career, his impact has undoubtedly transcended his personal fate, deeply rooted in the history of Russia and the world. Putin's legacy will continue to be discussed by future generations, and his story will be remembered as a complex and key chapter at the beginning of the 21st century. Thank you for joining us on this historical journey. May this exploration inspire deep thought and help us better understand the leaders and events that shape our world. Until the next exploration, goodbye.